And welcome back to Beautiful Mind. If you're new here, I'm Roland Attenborough. I'm the leading Gann scientific and analytical researcher. Today we're talking about Bitcoin and the continuous movement towards our August top. We're going to just bring this in and make this really small. I want to really compress this chart, and I've added a few bars patterns here. We have our normal sine wave. We're going to start discussing that as well, and we're going to lead into some other forecasting for September as well as August, and we're going to take a sneak peek look at the beginning of October as well, because last year we had a major cycle low. I warned you in July to get out and watch out. We were going to have a bottom in August 26th of 2023, and we did. Actually, it came a little sooner. It came around the 17th. However, we were prepared for that. We told you to watch out, and we suggested a purchase between October 6th and October, I think it was the 11th. No, it was 16th. That's right. And I bought Bitcoin, my last purchase, October 15th at 20,000. 27,200. I told you to buy here way back, right? And I waited to this day right here, and I bought. Moving forward, guys, let's take a look at August really quickly. Our two friends are together now in the sky. There they are. They're conjunct. We're about to have a major whipsaw top or a topping pattern. It doesn't have to be a major whipsaw top. Let's go take a look at what we're talking about here. So we'll line up our pattern here. I just happen to move it off of its base. We'll make it a little bigger right now just to begin off. So we have our topping feature is when we have the sun, when it occupies Aries, but particularly Taurus, we have a blow off top. So right now, the moon is sitting over here in Sagittarius. It's pretty much 180 degrees from where it should be. So at this point, we are about to build something up to about the 23rd to the 26th. So we're stating here that somewhere between this 23rd area here and this 26th here, that we could be up at 65,000. We don't have to be. We could be higher, or we could in fact have a headbutt and suffer a big move down on the 25th. Now looking at this chart here again, we know our sine wave is still intact. We know that our whipsaw bottoms and tops are coming in really close here. And they're right on. Like big pullback, another big top, and another big pullback. I'm going to make that just a little bigger so that we can. So right now we're getting into this period where we're going to retest our two major swing tops here. All right, these two right here, they represent these two here in the future. So our previous campaign is mirroring or rhyming very similar. And we've had these big pullbacks into here, another set of dead cat bounces right here, right? All this tomfoolery right here. So we've left all this now, and the market is about to get very active to the upside or to the downside. One way or the other, there's some heavy movements happening. And as you can see now, we've moved through this lower part and had a snap up again, and we're into a channel, right? And again, we're sitting on our channel tops. Not quite sitting on them, we're headbutting them, which isn't the greatest. However, if we can poke through and sit on this, just as our previous campaign did, right? Had another fake out, which we're about to experience here. And this could extend into the 14th here, and then here we go. Then we have this energy that needs to be let loose. And we feel that with our work here, under the watchful eye of William, I own all his books and courses, all his recommended reading list. That's right, I own every single one. I even own Miles Wilson Walker's Super Timing. Those are astrological documents if you're interested in learning some astrological stuff. I'm not sure if Miles is still doing it, but I bought 2 courses off him in 1998. I spent $25,000 in 1998 buying every single thing I could on William Gann, and I started my journey chewing through this. And it's been a difficult journey because a lot of his work is hidden and we don't get to see everything exactly, and you have to back test and put it together, which is a reason why I built this tool to help me find where on the circle, where these planetary bodies are, we can use them as a scale, a price scale. So here you are. I'm going to just show you yet again. You can go have a look at my soybean 1948 tutorial that I do with William Gann. Right now, we are vibrating at 65,000, 68,000 on the degrees of the circle. And we have 2 major planetary bodies who have made a conjunction in that area of the sky. So price and time have come together, as Mr. Gann would state. Looking forward now, we were stating that by the end of the month now, I'm going to compress this quite a bit. I know the square might be in the way a little, but we're going to try and keep it out of the way. So we have this tumultuous top in this 3rd week of the month where we have the moon coming around, 23rd to the 26th. And then we have a rapid move down when the moon revisits Cancer, and particularly Leo. And that will not occur until the 29th to the 31st. And we will have extreme and rapid moves down. And I stated that we would not end this move until about the 2nd or the 3rd of September. So I would expect by around there we would have some type of a turnaround here. We also have Pluto is making an ingress backwards, it's retrograde, into Capricorn. So more change. We also have our friend Mars will be changing signs and be moving as well into Cancer. Later in that month, we will be having a top, and it will come in on the 22nd and the 21st of September. And we'll have another snap bottom, that's right, right after that, when the moon revisits Leo. So that will occur again, looking at September now. We're going to compress this again. I'm really compressing it now, so just because I've put on some other levels and other bar movements moving forward. So late into September, we have again our friend the moon will come in and make another top, and we will have another tumultuous turnover when the moon gets back into Leo. Will we be back at this 38 and 40,000 as we've been discussing could occur? Well, 38,000 is our low in January, and it squares out with our current and present tops right now at 67,000. You can see that the price is sitting on there. So as it grows all the way around, it's sitting on the square of its base from top to bottom. And I'm also going to point that same scenario out for our 49,000 bottom here. We sat on the square of our base and we spun all the way around. All right, right now we've spun around to the 61. All right, so we're not quite back on the square of the base of our low right now from 49. We need to get above this, and we particularly cannot lose this 57,000. This area here is really important to us. And just like in this previous campaign channel here, we couldn't lose that area as well. Otherwise it spelled disaster. And that's precisely and exactly what happened, because I warned you back in July 13th that we would be revisiting 49,000. I was expecting it to happen a bit quicker. However, it takes time for the moon to come around and come to those spots. So looking now forward, we're either about to do a major headbutt and a major rollover. The amplitude of our current market is quite a bit stronger, and let's just go talk about that for a moment, because that's an indication that something is different in the previous campaign. The amplitude of this move and the velocity of it was not as severe. So measuring what that is, just get my measuring bar on here. Well, overall that only moved up 11%, or let's just say a fair 8 to 9%. In our current market right now, we're up 27, I think, 0.4%. And what would a Fibonacci level for us look like? Well, 32.8 would be where we would be expecting something, and that is the 65,000, that Fibonacci level, from our 49. So that perfectly squares out and agrees tremendously with our forecasting here, that we will be revisiting, or the chance that we revisit this area is really great. Our middle bar here is staying well. We're right above our middle bar here. This is our 50% level. So this would be a 61.8 or a Fibonacci level. We're just above the 50%. We're in this 618 level. And now we've moved up and we're starting to push on the 3/4 point. After we've overcome the 3/4 point of this square between these two parts here, that's right, we're going to be moving up into this area. So if we stretch this middle bar out to maybe where we get a change, this front part of this bar will probably lead us to a top here. Let's just go take a quick look at that. Okay, so we're going to stretch our bar out. And there you go, just as I stated. When we stretch the middle bar out to where this change is about to take place here, it's starting to find and seek out this area where the topping pattern will subside, or we should look for it to subside. Doesn't mean it will subside there and culminate. Most likely will culminate in this last part here where we were discussing, where we will have another fake out and then a rapid move down. A very rapid move down. If we break the below this 57, if we break this 57, then it's a hot burning spear, and it will happen really quickly. We'll be revisiting 46, right? Coming down to 49, we'll be back to 46, and we'll be sitting on this 44 right here. And if we sit back on this, this is a square of the base of our major blow-off all-time high, 73.6. 44 is sitting on that. So it vibrates with this. And vibrates also with our 57. So breaking this level here at 57 would be catastrophic, and we would be moving back down to that. And again, if we were to make an advance again and do a headbutt underneath our channel again, similar to maybe looking like this move, we could in fact experience another move down, and we could get back down below and sit down on this 38,000. And 38,000 is a 10 times position from our March low in 2020 at 3,800 and I think it was $83. So this would be perfectly in line and square out that position as well. This is not necessarily going to unfold like this. However, there is a tremendous amount of volatility here. And I think Bitcoin, it cannot break this 38,000. And the reason I say that is, well, referring to this document that Mr. Gann sold in 1939 for $2,500 alone, we're going to take a look at some things he stated. So I'm just going to flip to the areas where we need to discuss what's going on. This is page 5, stock market forecasting, Mr. Gann. So Mr. Gann states, January 2nd to the 7th to the 15th to the 21st. Watch these periods each year and note the high and low prices made. Until these high prices are crossed or low prices are broken, consider the trend up or down. Many times when stocks make low in the early part of January, this low will not be broken until the following July or August, and sometimes not during the entire year. This same rule applies in bear markets, or when the main trend is down. Higher prices made in the early part of January are often high for the entire year and are not crossed until after July or August. For example, U.S. Steel on January 2nd, 1930, made a low at 166, which was the halfway point from 1921 to 1929. And again on January 7th, 1930, declined to 167. When this level was broken, steel indicated lower prices. So from January 3rd, 7th, 20th, and 27th, the month of July, like January, is a month when most dividends are paid. Well, in Bitcoin, we don't have that. And investors usually buy stocks around the early part of the month. Watch these periods in July for tops or bottoms and a change in trend. Go back over charts and see how many times changes have taken place in July. 180 days from January, tops or bottoms. For example, July 8th, 1932 was low. July 17th, 1933, high. And July 26th, 1934, low of the market. All right, so now we're going to take you to his rules on bull and bear calendar years. You get both of these forecasting documents in the online course with the square and a ton of stuff. So we're going to go take a look at 2024. So number 4, or the 4th year, is a bear year, but ends the bear cycle and lays the foundation for a bull market. Compare 1904 and 1914. Let's get juicy now. We're talking about 2025. Number 5, or the 5th year, is the year of ascension and a very strong year for a bull market. See 1905, 1915, 1925, 1935, and we can just continue on with that cycle. So I just wanted to show you some stuff. These are just some of the parts and rules, and that's how come I'm so accurate at being able to show you this. So we're going to now go to our 5-year chart. I got some stuff I need to show you about that. We were just discussing this January stuff, so I just felt that it would be very important for us to discuss that. So this is the weekly chart, not the daily. But what I'm just talking about here is I called out this top. It wasn't that difficult. I said it would come on the 13th. It came on the 11th. I also said watch out for this bottom here. Okay, so when these high prices and these low prices are not broken, as he's indicated here, so we've come back and we've sat on this 49 here, guys. So this is stating to us that we cannot break these high and particularly this low price here. If we come back and break this low price here, then that will definitely spell disaster, and we will be moving very much down, and it's very likely we would be revisiting this 30 and this 25 area, and that would happen really fast. So, and not to mention, we could bounce around this 19 and back down to this 15. Oh yeah, it could happen easily. It could happen. We're not saying it will. So for the year, we're stating, using the forecasting that William is talking about, these 2 points here are extremely important for us. So we need to hold these. A failure of these will mean back to this and a move down. So from here, it's looking an awful lot like we might be, all right, we continue on this downward and sideways. But after September, guys, that's our 5th month from our halving, and typically we into September we're re-challenging our old tops, and then we have another sit down, and our next series of tops beyond this, looking at my my chart and my tutorial on Bitcoin, going back to 12 years, and we look at the 3 years cycle on each one, or the 4-year cycle, and we've had 3 of those campaigns, and time has always done the exact same thing. So we're expecting by February, March, and particularly April will be our next major swing top, and it may be we don't get above this until, you know, that March and April. It's possible. You know, it could happen. We could suffer a big headbutt here, sit down, and then into January again. That's right. We take off. So the same thing may occur here. This is our 10, 11, and 12. Right? These are our 12 months from our halving event, and we always have a blow off top. Every single time the cycle. So we're watching this one here for some changes, and we need to get a bottom so that we can get our next spring top, right? Right? We do a fall down into this, right? September, October, particularly September, and then in 6 months, in April, 180 days, we'll most likely have a top. And it just continues on in a cycle like this. So, looking at that, we're still not out of the woods. We have still quite a bit of volatility ahead of us. And I just felt that I would show you that because I get a lot of people saying, no, we broke these angles and it's done, it's over. We break this underbelly here, and you guys, I said to you, remember, crossing these 45-degree angles, we had a tumultuous top. I expected that we would have another change in trend around this crossing. Right? Look, we made a bottom again, the same as this channeling. We're doing all the same things, you guys. And we're about to break above all of this nonsense here. Right? We're having these fake outs and these retests right here. Right here. See this? That's right. We're doing all of this, right? Now, the amplitude may not be the same, but the time frame between these points will be very eerily the same. That's the sine wave. So pay attention to that, please. If you like the work that we do here, hit that like, share it with your colleagues, and hit me up in the comments. I'm getting inundated with a ton of requests and inquiries. Thank you to all of you for looking into this work and for your kind words. Thank you. I enjoy, love the work that I do. If you have any other questions or want a course or whatever, hit me up. Our summer sale's coming to an end here on the 31st, so don't miss out on that. Anyways, guys, peace and love. I'm working on some other projects as well, and let knowledge be your rock of success. Peace and love.